Do you have that one friend who seems to know an insufferable amount about a lot of random subjects? The person who chimes in with the odd and sometimes highly disturbing fun fact. Well, my name is Carly, and I am that friend. I often find myself wondering about topics that range from the history of certain holidays to what makes some wines expensive and some a little on the cheaper side. So I make use of that mini supercomputer I carry everywhere and just look it up. Lately, I have decided to share the random knowledge that I acquire with all of you lovely listeners. So welcome to I'm Already Looking It Up. Let's have a drink and learn a thing or two. Hello. You're listening to I'm Already Looking It Up, the podcast where I, your host, research a random topic and tell you, my lovely listeners, all about it. So without further ado, let's get started. Today's topic comes from a query that I often have when learning about laws, or just history in general. Laws are weird. Don't know if anyone who listens to this podcast has ever heard of Schoolhouse Rock. Mom, if you're listening, I know you have, because you introduced us to it. There was a song on Schoolhouse Rock about how laws are made. I'm just a bill, and I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. I have to say the whole thing. And laws in certain places are just odd. So there are things that exist, and they're not enforced. I mean, they used to be, but they're not. Or maybe they never were. Who knows? But this is just, every once in a while you hear something and you're like, hey, why is that a rule? Why can we not do that? And also, it's kind of the same thing as when you go into a shop or a restaurant or, some public place and you see a sign that says, don't do this. But it's a very specific thing. And you wonder, what happened for that to be posted? Who did this thing and why? So here we are. It's honestly probably going to be short. But I do enjoy this thought process a lot because it's quite interesting how things come into existence in this way. So let's just get started. I've got another list for you all today. And yeah, so here we go. The first list I have is titled Outdated and Weird Laws You Can Still Be Charged With. Don't kill Bigfoot, keep an adequate supply of TP in coal mines, and whatever you do, don't make gross cheese. If you're wondering what weird laws your state has, don't worry. We broke down the weirdest laws in every state below. So this will have all 55 states and I think Washington, D.C.? It has Washington State, I know that, because I know what the Washington State one is. But anyway. All right, it's also going to go in alphabetical order, which just makes me think of the scene in Drop Dead Gorgeous when they tell Amber that she has to spell all 50 states, or did I say 55 earlier? I don't know, brain is gone. I've been recording back to back. All 50 states, and she has to, spell them and then also spell them in alphabetical order. So that's fun. So we're going to start with Alabama. All right, in Alabama, the law is no dominoes on Sunday. In Alabama, it's illegal to pretend to be a religious figure. Okay, that seems fair. You also can't pretend to be a minister, nun, priest, or rabbi. Those are all religious figures. On that religious note, you can't play dominoes on Sunday, or hunt, shoot, play cards, or race. That one I don't feel is as weird, since, And since like Sunday is meant to be like the Lord's Day and everything, I don't think that's as weird, but it is certainly different. All right, in Alaska, no drinking at a bar, basically. Alaska has a statute that says an intoxicated person may not knowingly enter or camp out where alcohol is sold, which means you can't get drunk in a bar and remain on premises, but you also can't drive home. And I'm guessing they don't have a ton of Ubers out there. In any case, cops in Alaska have been known to arrest both patrons and bartenders for this offense. That's so weird. I wonder what they say. Like, you're under arrest, you're drinking at a bar, and I'm sure the patron is just like, yeah, it's a bar. I would love to hear that conversation. In Arizona, you need a permit to feed garbage. In Arizona, it's illegal to feed garbage to... Oh, okay, so the way this is worded is kind of weird. I think it needs to be added to feed garbage to pigs, or to animals in general. In Arizona, it is illegal to feed garbage to pigs without a permit to feed them garbage. That's repetitive. Although, if they're pigs you plan on eating yourself, you don't need a permit. But, ew. Also, fake drugs are illegal in Arizona, as are most real ones. Well, okay, the drugs thing makes sense. Kind of. Well, I guess that one depends. Like, are they illegal because if people sell them, it's technically false advertising? Or are they illegal because you're, like, instigating a crime or something? I don't know. That one hurts my brain a little bit. Also, when it says "but ew" for the plan on eating, you know, if you plan on eating pigs yourself, you don't need a permit to feed them garbage. Look, pigs will eat whatever. Honestly, they whatever we're putting in their bodies, it's probably a lot worse than you're not gonna get it in the meat. Is what I guess what I'm trying to say. So continue eating bacon, please. I want bacon. I guess you don't have to if you don't want to, but if you like bacon, you can still eat bacon. All right, Arkansas, or Kansas, however you say it, has a law against pinball winning streaks. AK made it illegal for a pinball machine to give away more than 25 free games to a player in one sitting. According to the Arkansas state legislator, it's Arkansas. I usually say Arkansas. I don't know why I said Arkansas. According to the Arkansas state legislator, the statute aims to prohibit machines that encourage gambling. Yeah, that's fine though, except you're not gambling on a pinball machine. I guess it is, but yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, I would be sad if I wasn't allowed to get, like, if I earned those free games, give me my free games, dang it. All right. In California, destroy that frog. In California, there's a health code that likely comes from the county fair and frog jumping jubilee. But this weird law goes like this. A frog that dies during a frog jumping contest can't be eaten, and you must destroy it as soon as possible. Fascinating. But why? See what I mean? With a lot of these, you have to wonder, like, why is this a law? Who wanted this to be a law? And why? These are, in a lot of these laws, like, they can be enforced. Like, you can arrest someone in the name of these laws. They're probably not enforced all that much, to be quite honest with you. But they are still funny. All right, the next one, Colorado. Don't mess with the weather. Colorado has a ton of places to ski, which can be a huge boon for tourism during skiing seasons, obviously. In order to modify the weather, i.e. make snow, you need a permit in Colorado. So it looks like, so it has a picture with it And with the pictures of like a I'm guessing a snow blower, a snow machine. I don't know, but I'm guessing you need a permit to run one of those things. And honestly, that makes sense. It seems like a heavy machinery type. You know, I could see that. So some of these are not that weird if you really think about it, but some of them are like, okay. In Connecticut, it's their junk, not yours. In Hartford, Connecticut, it's illegal to collect rags, paper, glass, old metal, junk, cylinders, or other waste materials without a license because it's their junk and they don't want you to have it. It was previously illegal to sell pickles, salsa, or anything with a pH below 4.6 at a farmer's market in Connecticut, though this law was recently overturned. Well, that's nice because, like, I don't like pickles. I do love salsa, though. But if you weren't able to sell them at a farmer's market, that would suck because a lot of, salsa made with fresh ingredients, so good. All right, glad they overturned that. The top one, the illegal to collect whatever without a license, does that mean their garbage men have to have licenses to be garbage men? Because technically they're collecting it. Just question. Just wondering if anybody from Connecticut wants to let me know. I'd appreciate it. Okay, next one. In Delaware, don't sell pet fur. In Delaware, it's a misdemeanor to sell, barter, or offer the fur of domestic dogs or cats. Any products made in whole or in part may result in a fine of $2,500 and a ban of owning a dog or cat for 15 years after the conviction. This includes even shed fur. But why? Who went around shaving cats and dogs and selling their fur? That's the only way this is illegal. That's the only explanation I can think of. Who did this? And why would you, sir? Or ma'am? Whichever. Or neither, or neither, or both. So, that one's, can't sell your pet's fur. Good thing I don't live in Delaware. Not that I sell my pet's fur, but if I was going to, I could, and my cat sheds like no one's business. And she's not even considered a long-haired cat. She's a domestic short hair, but she sheds like crazy. We love her. All right. Next one, Florida, where there's liquor, no dwarf tossing. In Florida, people who own bars, restaurants, or other places where liquor is sold may be fined up to $1,000 if they participate or permit any contest of dwarf tossing. They have also been working on getting this law repealed. Thank you, Florida, for your contribution once again. Speaking of booze, it's also illegal to sell alcohol during the hurricane. The state says it's to curb people's ability to throw hurricane parties. So it's basically for public safety. I mean, it makes sense. But also, it might be their last time. Let them buy alcohol, for Christ's sake. The dwarf tossing thing is interesting because, again, it just makes you wonder why is this a law? Why does this matter so much that there needed to be? This is a constant enough thing that not only is this a law, it is a law that people are trying to get repealed. Like, they want to be able to have dwarf tossing contests. I wonder if the dwarfs have to give consent. Well, I mean, now they can't now because it's a law, but if it's repealed? All right. That's ridiculous. All right, Georgia. Llama at your own risk. In Georgia, those who engage in llama-related activities are personally responsible for any injuries they suffer. This is to protect agricultural owners from lawsuits. I understand it, but do a lot of people in Georgia have llamas? Is that normal? Because, I feel like that should be a livestock thing. Like, if you are, unless it's like a runaway cow or something, I feel like you should be responsible for yourself, you know? Like if you're gonna be stupid and sneak onto someone's property and get yourself hurt, yeah, hell yeah, that's your fault. You should be responsible for it. If it's like a lost cow and like you accidentally hit it or you swerve your car and you crash, insurance, you know, farmers should have cow insurance that takes care of that, or livestock. And I don't know. I think this does make sense, but I think it's should be standard, right? That shouldn't just be a law in Georgia. Maybe it is standard, and I just don't know. But let me know, farmers, ranchers, I guess, people who have livestock in general. Yeah. But does Georgia have a lot of llamas is the original question. And now I must know, where's my mouse, if llama rearing, I don't know, are llamas popular in Georgia? Okay. Alpacas and llamas in Georgia. It doesn't seem to really. I guess, yeah. I mean, a lot of what I see is just mentioning that, yeah, there are people who farm their fur. I mean, makes sense. Makes sense. I guess not their fur, but their wool. Yeah. Anyway, interesting. This next one I read ahead of time, and I actually really like it. And you might see why. Hawaii, don't add ads. In order to keep Hawaii an idyllic and peaceful chain of islands, they have a law called the Urban Beautification Initiative. And it dates back to 1927. This initiative says that billboards are outlawed in the state with a few exceptions. This includes notices from public offices and signs posted where goods are sold. Otherwise, outdoor ads are strictly off limits. Which I get for tourist reasons. That's probably not the best law, like if you're doing it just for tourist reasons. But also, like, it does keep, you know, from building so many billboards that it's oversaturated, and that's nice. I like that. I think it's nice. All right. Cannibalism is usually illegal in Idaho. It's usually illegal everywhere. You read that right. In most states, cannibalism itself isn't expressly illegal. However, the law allows for cannibalism under life-threatening conditions as the only apparent means of survival. And further, how Idaho defines cannibalism is the non-consensual eating of someone else. Providing you have a friend that's totally cool with you eating their arm, it's not technically cannibalism or illegal in Idaho. Though it's likely frowned upon, you know. Yeah, but if you're in a dire situation and your friend's like, I don't want to die, but like, let's cut off my arm and eat it, that's consensual, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. That's, yeah. All right, Illinois. No $601 salamanders. There's a bit of a rumor surrounding this weird law. The rumor goes like this. It's illegal to own more than $600 worth of salamanders. This is almost true, and truthfully, the rumors are weirder than the actual law. In reality, it's illegal in Illinois to possess a variety of aquatic life that was captured or killed in violation of the Fish and Aquatic Life Code, whose value exceeds $600. So yes, you can own $600 worth of salamanders, but it can't be just one salamander worth $601. But only if it violates the Fish and Aquatic Life Code in Illinois. Fantastic. Weird. So weird. Indiana, no glue sniffing with intent. Yeah. In Indiana made it illegal for liquor stores to sell refrigerated soda or water. The law states that a beer and wine store should be exclusively alcoholic. That means any water where soda sold needs to be at room temperature. Okay. I'll admit this makes no sense to me, but it made sense to Indiana. Additionally, you're not allowed to sniff toxic vapors of any kind in Indiana, at least not if you're intending to cause a condition of intoxication, euphoria, excitement, exhilaration, duplication, or dulling of the senses. But if you just like sniffing toxic vapors, there seems to be no law about that. So there you go, all you glue sniffers, you can do it in Indiana if you're not trying to get high off of it. It was an accident. Iowa, don't lie about butter. Iowa takes butter pretty seriously. Anyone trying to pass off margarine as real butter is guilty of a misdemeanor under the food labeling laws in Iowa. Renovated butter, whatever that is, must also be labeled as renovated butter. I don't even want to know what renovated butter is. That sounds kind of gross. Aha, my state, Kansas. This one, I saw it and I was like, we would have a dumb law like that. Don't shoot rabbits from motorboats. I don't know if you've ever been to Kansas or if you're from Kansas. Not a lot of opportunity to shoot rabbits from motorboats. We got lakes and we got rivers, sure. But like, not really something we have to worry about usually. All right. It's legal to sell liquor by the glass in over 25 counties across Kansas. Catch fish with your bare hands. And no, you cannot shoot a rabbit from a motorboat, because I know you were going to ask that. But non-motorized boats seem to be okay. So if you're in a canoe or just a rowboat, you can shoot a rabbit from there, just not if you're on a motorboat, I guess. Is it just unfair to the rabbit? Maybe. Who knows? Kentucky. No deadly dueling. No dueling in Kentucky if you're a public officer, legislator, or lawyer. Each one of these professionals needs to take an oath stating that they have never fought a duel with a deadly weapon. I also found this interesting because it's like if you want to be a legislator or a public officer or a lawyer, you do have to take this oath and you have to avoid dueling your whole life. So hopefully you don't decide that after you've already been in a duel, because if you have, you're screwed. Can't do it. All right. Louisiana. This one is funny. Louisiana, jambalaya is above the law. Traditional Louisiana jambalaya is not subject to state sanitary code. This means that jambalaya in Louisiana can be made for public consumption in the open using iron pots and wood fires. So literally, in Louisiana, if you make jambalaya, you can just, however it gets done, you make it that way. And that's, I mean, I'm sure there's like a defined, well, maybe there's not. There could not be a defined specific definition of jambalaya, but there you go. All right, Dunkin' Donuts. That's what the picture says. I don't know why I said that out loud. Oh, because the next thing's about it. Anyway, Maine, don't take my spot. In South Berwick, Maine, it's illegal to park in front of a Dunkin' Donuts because those spots are reserved for police officers only. That's super dumb. And also perpetuating stereotypes of police officers. I mean, most people like a good donut. I don't know that Dunkin' Donuts actually has good donuts, because I've had their coffee, and I don't think their coffee is very good. Probably gonna get murdered for saying that, because I know a lot of people like Dunkin' Donuts coffee, but I don't think it's very good. I also just drink black coffee, though, so it may just be that their black coffee is not very good. I've not tried their, like, iced coffees or anything. I'm sure they're fine. Don't love them, though. I don't know that I've ever had a donut from Dunkin' Donuts, though, that I remember. Krispy Kreme, though, that's where it's at. Fresh ones, oh, All right. Maryland, your future holds jail time. Fortune telling is illegal in Maryland, according to this law. Anyone pretending to forecast or foretell the future of another through cards, palm readings, or any other scheme, practice, or device can be found guilty of a misdemeanor and fined up to $500 or serve jail time. Wonderful. That makes a lot of sense, honestly, because it can be a scheme, and if you're in it just to tell people's futures, why you gotta charge them? But then again, also, if you're not getting paid for something you're good at, then what are you doing? Massachusetts, no national anthem remixes. American pride runs deep in Massachusetts. Singing, playing only part of, remixing, or dancing to the national anthem is punishable by a fine of up to $100 in Massachusetts. Additionally, swearing at a sporting event, if you're over the age of 16, is still against the law. But I've sworn at Fenway for losing games, and I can tell you it's not in... It's probably supposed to say, but I've been at Fenway during losing games, and it's not enforced. I don't know. They're just saying they know it's not enforced. Still, though, if you're over the age of 16, you can't swear? That makes no sense. I mean, maybe it has something to do with you're more in control, so it makes more sense. I don't know. That one's weird. That's weirder than the national anthem remixes. I can kind of understand national anthem remixes being punishable by a fine, but the swearing one is the way it's structured is weird. Anyway, Michigan, drunk on a train. Cheating in Michigan is illegal. Breaking this law is punishable by a maximum sentence of 4 years in prison and up to a $5,000 fine. Additionally, blasphemy is still illegal in Michigan, though neither of which are enforced with any regularity. On a final note, on Michigan's weird laws, you can't be drunk on a train, but a plane is okay. And once you get to Ohio, you can absolutely get drunk on a train. Just be sober for your ride back to Michigan. So there you go. Minnesota, no oiled or greased pigs. In Minnesota, any contest where contestants have to try and capture a greased or oiled pig is illegal. Turkey scrambles are also illegal, but non-oiled or greased pigs seem to be perfectly within legal bounds. Mississippi, watch your mouth and your stickers. For a little while, it was illegal to swear in public in Mississippi. While it's no longer officially illegal to use obscene or adult-like language, people still can't display obscene stickers, paintings, decals, or emblems in public or on motor vehicles or clothing. Yeah. My car, the car I had before I got into an accident, had a couple of swears on the back in the form of stickers. But they were really funny and awesome. But I don't live in, where is that in? Mississippi? I don't live in Mississippi. So it's fine. Missouri. So about that rampaging bull. This one might be one of the weirder laws, and it's got a lot of caveats to it, but here we go. A bull or ram over the age of 1 year runs rampant for more than 3 days. A person may castrate the animal without liability for the damage. However, 3 town residents must attest in writing that the animal is loose, and its owner must fail to reclaim the animal after notice is given. After that, you can castrate the bull or ram and continue to let it rampage, I guess. Yeah, that's weird. That hasn't, yeah. I bet the thought process is it has something to do with like, oh, if you castrate it, it'll calm down. But yeah, weird. Definitely weird. Montana, don't harm trains with animals. Yes, those words are in the right order for Montana laws anyway. Driving animals onto a railroad track with the intent to damage the train can result in fines up to $6,000 and prison time of up to 5 years. There you go. Nebraska, the VD law. Marrying if you have an STD in Nebraska is illegal, even though Nebraska doesn't require any sort of panels, blood test, or medical history in order to get a marriage license, which makes this law difficult to enforce. I mean, yeah. Nevada, measure your feet the normal way using a pedoscope, in other words, an x-ray machine to size your shoes is illegal in Nevada, so you'll just have to measure your feet the normal way, I guess. So much for your daily dose of high levels of radiation. New Hampshire, no grave hunting. Don't collect or carry any seaweed at night in New Hampshire. Also, no hunting in a graveyard in Everett, although other towns that's legal, but likely uncouth. And you need to use your real name to check into a hotel. No fake names. I think that's just New Hampshire in general. Don't know if it's just the town, but it's cool. All right, New Jersey, bulletproof vests. If you're going to commit a crime, don't wear a bulletproof vest. In New Jersey, a person wearing a bulletproof vest while carrying out a criminal act can be charged separately for suiting up. There you go. If you don't want extra charges, don't wear a bulletproof vest. But if you also don't want to die, maybe wear a bulletproof vest. New Mexico, no tripping horses. In New Mexico, you can be charged with a misdemeanor if you trip a horse. Fantastic. New York, the real you. The Empire State bans being masked or in any manner disguised in public. They also don't like groups of people all dressed the same way. I do wonder what Halloween is like in NY if this is enforced. And like Michigan, adultery is illegal, punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Nice. Sorry. In North Carolina, don't use elephants to plow cotton fields. In North Carolina, elephants can't be used to plow cotton fields, but other fields seem to be okay, just no cotton, so don't even think about it. North Dakota, take your shoes off. In North Dakota, it's illegal to lie down and fall asleep with your shoes on. Though whether this is in private or public, the law doesn't say. It also doesn't say if it would be legal to sleep in public with your shoes off. In any case, we're thinking your sidewalk nap will be rudely interrupted. Ohio, we need toilet paper. In Ohio, every operator of an underground coal mine must provide an adequate supply of toilet paper for each toilet. While this kind of makes sense, there are a lot more questions than answers. Like, what is an adequate supply? What happened to make this law? And what is going on in Ohio's coal mines? All valid questions. Oklahoma, just the facts. The state statute in Oklahoma still says it is a fact that there exists an internal communist conspiracy. Such a conspiracy constitutes a clear and present danger to the government of the United States and to the state. Not a law, but okay, that's great. Ohio. Oregon, don't throw fecal matter. If you're traveling with bottled pee in Oregon, you cannot throw it out your vehicle or leave it on the same side of the road. This is a Class A misdemeanor. The same is true for fecal matter, which leaves us with a similar question that we had for Ohio. What is going on with Oregon? And why do you have fecal matter in a container that you're throwing out your car window? In addition, you can also be fined for leaving your car door open for too long. That is something that has to do with cyclists being annoyed by car drivers, which isn't as uncommon as you think. However, how long you can actually leave your car door open is unclear. All right. Pennsylvania, no baby sales. Human trafficking is a serious issue, not just in Pennsylvania or the states, but around the world. However, Pennsylvania felt the need to make it a misdemeanor to attempt to order or sell a baby, though whether this is in addition to other charges or a standard charge, the law doesn't seem clear on. What makes this law weird isn't that you can't buy or sell babies. That's being a decent person. What makes it weird is that it's a misdemeanor. That's true. In Rhode Island, no biting off limbs. You cannot, I repeat, cannot bite off someone's limb in Rhode Island. So take note. If you do bite off someone's limb in Rhode Island, you're looking at a 1 to 20 years worth of prison time and a huge mouth, because that seems difficult to accomplish with a human-sized mouth. That is, unless you're part of a zombie horde. South Carolina, don't lie to her about marriage. In South Carolina, a male over the age of 16 can't seduce a woman by falsely promising to marry her. However, a woman could falsely seduce a male by promising to marry him. In either case, a man found guilty will be charged with a misdemeanor and possibly fined or imprisoned for no more than 1 year. I love that. South Dakota, keep in on the beds, please. In South Dakota, every hotel must have twin beds 2 feet apart, and thou shalt not make love between the beds, which is fair because they did give you 2 beds. All right. Tennessee. Don't speak of the gateway to sex. In Tennessee, they have a law for teachers that prohibits talking about the gateway to sex. The gateway includes things like kissing and hand-holding. So, just can't talk about it. Texas, no atheists in office. If you're an atheist, you can't run for office in Texas. Separation of church and state, my ass. People wishing to run for office in Texas must acknowledge the supreme being. If not, they could be subjected to religious testing, whatever that is. You don't have to believe in any particular God, but you do have to believe in some sort of superior being. Utah, stay away, Mike Tyson. In Utah, you cannot hurl a missile at a bus or a bus terminal unless you're a peace officer or security personnel. Another Utah law, you can't bite people while boxing. I didn't know Mike Tyson bit people while boxing. That seems like a good strategy. Vermont, you're banned from banning that. In Vermont, there's a law that bans banning clotheslines. That means that towns, neighborhoods, and communities can't ban the use of clotheslines in Vermont because that's banned. According to the Vermont State Legislature, clotheslines are listed as energy devices based on renewable resources. Seems fair. Virginia, wait till you're married. In Virginia, there's a law saying fornication, i.e. sex, is completely banned unless you're married. Technically, it's still punishable as a misdemeanor, though we're assuming no unmarried couples are formally charged with the crime of unmarried fornication. All right. Washington, leave Bigfoot alone. It's a law in Washington that you cannot attach a vending machine to a utility pole without prior consent from the utility company. Additionally, killing Bigfoot was a felony at one point and punishable by 5 years in prison, so don't kill Bigfoot. Now, the law's been amended to say Bigfoot is an endangered species, and thus killing and trapping Bigfoot is still legal under the Washington wildlife laws. Heck yeah. Protect the foot. West Virginia, don't hunt with ferrets. In West Virginia, you can't use ferrets to hunt. Anyone who hunts, catches, kills, injures, or pursues a wild animal with a ferret will face a fine of no less than $100 and up to 100 days in jail. This might sound odd, but ferrets are skilled hunters who are used to hunt rabbits and birds in many parts of the world. Yes, including parts of the U.S. Wisconsin, gross cheese is punishable. Wisconsin takes their cheese seriously. According to Wisconsin state legislator, non-tasty cheese is technically a punishable offense. According to the law, state-certified cheeses like Munster, Cheddar, Colby, and Monterey Jack must be highly pleasing. All right, and Wyoming. No shooting fish in a barrel. In Wyoming, it's illegal to injure a fish with a firearm. Whether the weapon actually has to be fired or not, the law doesn't say. In any case, you literally can't shoot fish in a barrel. All right. Well, heck, that first article took me long enough. Maybe we'll do another one of these another time, and I'll just save what I have. But that was good. I really liked that. Laws are weird, man. Why do people do the things they do? Is the real question here. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave it for today. Thank you so much for listening. If you're enjoying the podcast, please like, subscribe, and share. I would really appreciate it. You can check me out on Patreon, Apple, iTunes, all the things. Go look. I usually post all my stuff in the show notes / credits or description, whatever you want to call it. So go check it all out there, and I will see you next time. Bye. Thank you for listening to I'm Already Looking It Up. If you're enjoying the podcast, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, you can go to my Patreon at patreon.com/wildforestproductions. Don't forget to check out all the social links below. Thank you.